Welcome to the Bivoc. This is the game of timeline. To play this game, you're going to need a certain number of people. At least 6 dice per team, and every team is 2 people big. And several dice in the center, called the celestial dice. It is more fun if these dice are large, but that is not a requirement. To set up this game, each team will take 3 dice. And they will put one of them, a representation of them, on the first spot here on the horseshoe. We call this the horseshoe. And oftentimes these are made with buckets, but we'll just call these spaces for now. So everyone will put their pawn, which is this thing over here, on the first space. And the game will begin. When you begin the game, you're going to be rolling as fast as you can in an attempt to get 3 of a kind. If you get 3 of a kind, if I can actually get it. If you get 3 of a kind, the player who rolled the 3 of a kind will then move up, move their pawn 1 further, and then run over and roll the celestial dice if they must. And we'll talk about the celestial dice in a second. And then they'll run back and rejoin their team. While this player is running around, this other player can absolutely start rolling. Whoever rolls the 3 of a kind is the player that must go out, move the pawn, and roll the celestial dice. Now in this game, you can push your luck. If you only roll 3 dice, you can skip the celestial dice entirely. But if you roll more than 3 dice, you have to roll some of the celestial dice. And how many you roll depends on how many you rolled to get 3 of a kind. So if I rolled 4 dice, okay, and I managed to get 3 of a kind, I would have to roll 2 celestial dice. The math is pretty simple. It's the total number of dice you rolled. Doesn't matter how many of them were the same. The total number of dice you rolled minus 2. When you roll the celestial dice, you are looking for anything but 2 3s, 2 4s, 2 5s, or 2 6s. So if I roll 2 3s, our team is eliminated right then and there. If I roll 2 4s, our team is eliminated. If I roll 2 5s, our team is eliminated. If I roll 2 6s, our team is eliminated right there. And it's kind of a push your luck as you go. If you're behind, you might choose to roll more dice so that you can get more 3s of a kind. But unfortunately, you will be rolling more dice. And the requirements to be eliminated do not change. So if I'm rolling 3 dice, oh look, I only needed 2 5s and I got them, I'm out. All right? So generally, you're not going to be rolling more than 5 dice, because afterwards this gets ridiculous. But if you're really desperate, you can roll, 6 dice and roll 4, or 7 dice and roll 5, or 8 dice and roll 6. You can't roll more than 6. But it's very unlikely that you'll survive. All right. That's a fun way to do it. The game is over when one of 2 things happens. There is only 1 team left standing. If there's 1 team left standing, that team is the instantaneous winner. Or a player reaches one of their pawns, puts it on this last space in the horseshoe, and survives the celestial roll if they need to make one. Then this team would win. That is the basis for timeline. There is one additional roll that might be put in place, depending on how the players are playing. You can play to kind of push the horseshoe along by dropping these spaces as they go up. So you would drop the first bucket after 2 minutes. And anybody who's on that bucket in those 2 minutes is eliminated, just for taking too long. And then every minute afterward, you will drop another bucket and slowly move up another space, and move up to the last chain, kicking off these players who are behind, which would incentivize them to roll more dice in an attempt to break free from the passing of the dropping spaces. That is the entirety of timeline. Good luck.